Welcome back to the Sad Fan, where we talk about the good, the bad, and everything that made you sad. Welcome in, and we've got to start in the obvious place. Gino, no.
Gino's the obvious place. Okay.
No.
He doesn't make me sad. He just makes me angry.
Interception for the win. And how long was that interception? Was that a 103-yard interception return?
Yeah, that was pretty bad. I think it was 104, 5. I can't remember. I was just angry. I was like, can we can him already? Like, can we just cut him?
Did you see him immediately?
Can we put in Sam Howell? I think it's time for the Gino experiment to end.
You don't want Sam Howell. You went off on Sam Howell.
I don't care. It's time for something. I don't care. I'm done with Gino.
Yeah.
I don't care. The only reason why we came back near the end, or almost came back, was because of Jackson Smith and Jigba. That dude is a phenom. He's the only reason. He made circus catches.
He has fixed his drop problem. He had a drop problem last year. He dropped the ball a little too much last year, but that appears to be fixed. He's a clear number 2 on that team as Tyler Lockett ages gracefully. Not that he's not still great. Tyler Lockett still can make a play for you, but Jackson Smith and Jigba is that team's clear number 2 wide receiver behind DK Metcalf. Gino, I mean, he's been the leading quarterback, but he's surrounded by talent. I mean, and you're looking at CJ Stroud, and you're seeing what happens when you don't have that talent around you, right? Because he's lost Stephon Diggs to an ACL. He's lost Nico Collins to hamstring for weeks now, and he's looked bad. CJ Stroud's looked bad, to be honest. And now Gino kind of lost without his receivers.
I will give one thing to Gino is our offensive line was trash against the Rams. He got sacked like 6 times. He got knocked down like 7 or 8. It was pretty bad. I feel like every play he was getting like rushed. But you're still trash, bro. Don't throw 3 interceptions.
That's been his career there, right? Because that division has some of the best pass rushers in the game. When you look at the Cardinals' defensive line, when you look at the Rams' defensive line, well,
they don't have Aaron Donald. Yeah, they don't have Aaron Donald. That guy finally left. I thought it would, but no. I mean, we even managed to get Puka Nacua out of the game.
Puka Nacua managed to get Puka Nacua out of the game.
That was a kind of a weak punch, though. Like, I'm going to say it right now. That was a weak punch.
I was going to say the same thing. You beat me to the punch. No pun intended. But I was about to fall asleep because obviously that game came on at like midnight here, I want to say. No. Sorry. The punch got thrown at just almost midnight. So I was already in bed ready to pass out because I wake up at 4 a.m, not just to do the show, but to get to work. And you said that, and I was like, oh, no, man. Did he get injured again? And so I start searching through Twitter to try to see what happened to him. And then I found it, and it was the weakest punch I've ever seen. And I've said this on the show before, and I've said this my whole career. It's not the guy that throws the punch first, because he was definitely getting antagonized.
Yeah, for sure.
Before he threw the punch, and then he gets caught throwing the punch, and it was.
I think it was it Tariq Woolen he like shoved him, and then he smacked him back.
And it wasn't just a shove; he was antagonizing him the whole route. He was grabbing onto him, pulling him around, and eventually.
I did not. I'm not surprised it was flagged for like unnecessary or like unsportsmanlike conduct, but to get thrown out of the game. I don't think that was his second one, was it?
Well, it doesn't matter. You can't throw a punch in an NFL game. A punch is an automatic elimination. But
it was like an open-handed back off.
And it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't anything that anyone's gonna be like, oh my god, he was trying to hurt him. It was kind of like, Puka. Oh, Puka. Right? Stop it, Puka. What are you doing? Why are you letting him get you all riled up, Puka? That's kind of what that punch was for an ejection. I'm with you. I don't know, but a punch is an automatic ejection in the NFL. And you were hoping that Geno Smith would get ejected, but I think just hold tight, because what the hell is going on with the NFC West? What is happening with the NFC West? Like, I'm so confused. The Rams were...
Well, the 49ers had a bye week, so that's probably why.
Yeah, and they got great news in that bye week. Did you hear?
What?
Christian McCaffrey's back at practice.
Oh, I did not hear that. That's bad news for us. That's
It's
not
bad
great
news
news.
for the NFL, probably. Because I
Yes.
think if the 49ers have their weapons, which obviously they've lost Brandon Ayuk for the year, they're the best team in football. Now, I don't want them to be, but they are.
I
On
don't.
paper. On
No.
paper. But I'm with
No.
you. I like the Lions. I think the Lions are physically, not just on paper, the best team in football. The Commanders are a cute little team at 7-2, but I don't think they're the best team in football. I definitely don't trust their defense at all as it pertains
No.
to the Commanders. Jaden Daniels has been fun to watch, but I think he's going to go through his growing pains, just like C.J. Stroud did last year, just like Lamar Jackson has throughout his entire career, just like Josh Allen has. Like, he's fun to watch. They're a cute little team in Washington, but I don't think much is going to come of it this year.
Cute.
I think the Lions own
They're
the
going to win the
season.
NFC East. That's not cute.
Yeah, I
That's-
mean, maybe we'll see what the Eagles do. Nick Sirianni does everything he can to lose football games. Nick
does.
Sirianni
He's
wanted
good
to
at that.
he wanted to give that football game over to the Jaguars so bad, and Saquon Barkley would not let him.
No. Yeah, that was that was quite the play.
I mean, it's the most amazing juke you've ever seen in your life. I defy me.
Yeah, it's like think of the butt fumble, but it's like a butt juke.
It,
Or-
well, it was a hurdle with his back turned to the defender. Right?
I've
You
never
can't
seen
do
that.
you can't do a dunk like that in NBA 2K.
Yeah, it was a reverse leapfrog. He literally leaped over him, and then like grabbed his helmet, and he was like, "Get off me, little boy!"
No, he cleared him, man. He doesn't even touch him. He clears him. He literally just clears him backwards. Like he what? He ran a backwards hurdle after a crazy spin move. Like
Yeah.
he's a video game. He's a cheat code. All
The
right.
only thing that would have been cooler is if like the guy's helmet hit him, and he like flipped backwards, did a backflip, and kept running.
Yeah, I mean maybe that'd be weird. That'd be Matrix level.
Yeah.
But the Chiefs now in the AFC. So we've got the Lions that look like they're going to take the NFC. They're to me the scariest team. They beat the Packers, which is a big challenge in their own division, right?
Yeah, they're unstoppable.
Chiefs though, why don't I trust the Chiefs? Like, obviously they're great. Obviously they still have Patrick Mahomes, who's the great equalizer. What is it about the Chiefs, undefeated 8-0, that I don't trust?
I feel like they haven't. I feel like all of their games, they feel like they're just squeaking by.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Yeah, I feel like they haven't really had any like definitive wins where you're like, wow, this team's really good.
Yeah, we're so used to them dropping the hammer and crushing the teams they play, that offense humming, and you're not getting
I
that.
feel like the 49ers game was probably their best game of the season last week.
And this game was probably Patrick Mahomes' best game this week, because Patrick Mahomes finally threw 250 yards. Travis Kelce,
3 touchdowns, but
yeah, he looked like Patrick Mahomes.
Well, it looked like he was going to go out for the game earlier. Like I don't understand. Like he injured his ankle last week, and then it looked like he screwed up his leg again. Like he just like came to a stop. He was kind of making a cut almost, and it looked like his leg buckled, and he had to be like helped off the field by the trainers, and everyone was like, "Oh crap, he's done for the game." And then he just comes back the next drive. Like, bro,
Yeah.
are your ligaments made out of like rubber? Like, dude, come on.
Well,
Can
now
you
you
just
got
like
DeAndre
just-
Hopkins is resurrected too. He's not the only one that dipped himself in the Lazarus pit. Now you've got DeAndre Hopkins. Like, all of a sudden looks like DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah. For the first time in years.
Yeah, and that's definitely freed up Travis Kelce, because Travis Kelce has looked significantly better the last 2 weeks. And did you see what happened with Travis Kelce's brother as it pertains to Travis Kelce?
Yeah. I mean, that's the definition of fuck around and find out.
I mean,
how are you going to talk shit to a 7 foot, 350-pound offensive lineman and not expect it to like have repercussions?
well, what he said was totally out of line, and it was totally just to get a reaction. And he got a reaction.
You got the reaction.
literally, I'm hopeful that he had to Uber home.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm hoping that he Ubered to the stadium and he was planning on Ubering home, and now he's just stuck there asking people for a ride.
Right, and everyone's like, "No, you get what you get."
Yeah, he what did he do? He pissed off the Swifties. He pissed off all the Kelsey fans and the LGBTQIA plus community all in one sentence.
Yeah, good job, bro.
Wait till we see this guy's face. Wait.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure like 99% of people were like, "Yeah, he deserved it."
Of course, just like there was a Ravens fan, I believe. Yeah, it was a Ravens fan after the Commanders game that was punching Commanders fans and attacking them, and he's saying he can't be beat. Well, the justice system beat him because he got put into custody. He was caught, apprehended, and now he's facing up to 50 years in prison. So I hope these jerks just keep getting what they deserve. Stop trying to go viral. Yeah, stop trying to go viral doing stupid things. Stop annoying people. Like, seriously, whether it be at the gym, and I know Joey Swole attacks this community, but whether it be at the gym, you're trying to film people at the gym and they don't want to be filmed, so you try to go viral making fun of people. Stop filming people that don't want it to happen. Stop saying things that you think are going to have no repercussions and expecting not to get dropped. Like, Jason Kelsey did the right thing.
Oh, yeah. And one person who's probably not going to get their justice, Deshaun.
Oh, I mean, you're right.
Shit.
You're right, but I think he's shadow banned from the NFL after this. I don't think he's ever going to get another shot. And what's sad is it's not because of the crimes he committed. It's because he sucks. Yeah, it's because he's terrible. He's so terrible. All right, you know who else is trash, Wes?
Who?
How about them Cowboys?
Mike McCarthy and the Cowboys. You always say I'm a coach apologist, but I'm telling you, Mike McCarthy's a little baby. Mike McCarthy's a little baby.
We're saving your coach apologies for the next half of the show.
He smashed his tablet because the Cowboys suck.
Cowboys are so bad. They're the worst coach team in the NFL because they've got a lot of talent on that team. They really do. Dak Prescott was caught on film saying something. Do you know what he was saying, Wes?
This team sucks?
Close. You were close. You were super close. He said, "We bleeping suck."
That's close enough. That's it on The Price is Right. All right.
that is literally what he said, and he's right. And I think CeeDee Lamb last week said something similar. Okay, the whole team hates it there. That's a problem. Both your stars hate it. Micah Parsons has already said something to that effect. Like, all of your superstars hate Dallas. That's insane. That's crazy. That team's going nowhere fast.
No, I feel like the players are finally realizing what the rest of America has been saying for decades. You guys suck.
Yeah. You guys suck. All right. Let's get to college football. How did that Oregon win in the Big House make you feel?
That felt good. I was a little nervous around the third quarter because they were making it close.
I shut that game off, I think, at halftime. I was like, I'm done. I'm done with this game. I think I even texted you. I was like,
quarter.
It was a blowout, by halftime.
It was a 7-point game after the third.
I switched over. Yeah, but what was it at halftime? I think it was like 28-7 at halftime. They scored on their first 3 drives. They scored a touchdown on their first 3 drives, Oregon.
Yeah. Well, it got to 17-28, and Michigan was driving at one point, and I was like, if they score this, it's a 1. And we were doing shit.
That was the eternal plight of the fan, Wes. That's just you being a fan in that moment. Like, all of America was like, this game is over. You as a fan were sitting on your couch hugging your pillow like, oh no!
That's what I do.
The first, then second, then third, then first string quarterback of Michigan might make a comeback because that's their quarterback's trajectory, by the way. He was the starting quarterback, then he was the second string quarterback, then the third, and now he's the first.
Well, I don't know what Michigan's doing with Orgy because Orgy is terrible. They just need to stick to Warren. They just need to stick to Davis Warren because Alex Orgy's trash. And the only thing he could do was Wildcat. And it's like, what's the point?
He's a running back.
There was a lot of questionable calls. Oh, there was the challenge. Sharon Moore decided to challenge it. I can't remember what it was, but he literally only challenged it because everyone in the stadium started booing, and it was in the second half. They had 2 timeouts. They had already used one.
It was a pressure challenge?
Yeah. Yeah. The crowd pressured him into challenging it. Clearly, even the announcers were like, this is a stupid challenge. Like, I don't know what he's thinking. He's going to lose his timeout. And he did. And they had 1 timeout left. I mean, it didn't matter, but yeah. It was, I don't think they're a well-coached team.
And they've got your favorite team to watch outside of your favorite team to watch this week. So they've got Indiana.
Indiana's fun to watch.
And they come really marching in. Indiana, here they come. And they have been fun to watch. Their starting quarterback's been nicked up. All right? But they're barreling towards a showdown with Ohio State. And it's a showdown with Ohio State that your boy, James Franklin, can never win at Penn State. And I'm hopeful that Indiana can, because honestly, Ohio State should have 3 losses on the year.
Oh, yeah.
They should have lost to Nebraska.
They had first and goal at the 1, and they couldn't punch it in the fourth quarter. You suck, Penn State. You suck.
This terrible play calling. He ran the same play 3 times with 3 different variations. Yes, variations, but it was the same play call 3 times in a row.
Running back draw to the left, running back draw to the right, running back draw down the middle.
It was I'm watching this. I'm like, James Franklin, why are you so bad at this? Why are you bad at this? You were bad in the first half. Terrible game management in the first half. Terrible play call in the first half. Somehow your team's still in it. Oh, I know. Ohio State had to throw you a touchdown pass. Ohio State had to throw a pick 6 for Penn State to be in the game. And everybody's like, Ohio State's just better. Penn State's athletes match up with Ohio State's athletes this year. Okay? So,
Franklin,
as it stands, this is on James Franklin. And he's like, I wear it. You've been wearing it for your whole career. He's paid to win he wins 10 games. Yeah, against FCS opponents. He's not paid to win those games.
10 FCS opponents now, bro.
Oh, yeah. Purdue is an FCS opponent. Indiana every other year is an FCS opponent, okay?
A lot of schools would kill to have James Franklin. A lot of schools not in the national championship picture. He will never, like I said, I've said this before, he will never
you're not wrong.
National championship.
He can't win any game besides a game against North Texas.
There's a lot of coaches out there, but not a lot of coaches can win the national championship.
Iowa.
Is in the position where they want to win national championships, so they need to get rid of him because he can't do it for them.
If a team has a single digit next to their name, Penn State's not winning. Franklin's not winning. All right? Like, so 9 and down, James Franklin's losing that game forever. For his entire career, James Franklin's going to lose that game.
I mean, James Franklin is an ideal coach for a team like Vanderbilt, which Vanderbilt owns the state of Alabama.
Vanderbilt does own the state of Alabama. Vanderbilt also owns the state of Tennessee at this point in time because that team is more exciting than Tennessee right now.
Oh, yeah.
I know Tennessee's the higher-ranked team, but I'm tuning into Vanderbilt to see if Vanderbilt's going to upset the next team.
Oh, 100% of the time, yeah. I mean, has Tennessee played Vanderbilt yet this year? I can't remember.
No.
Nope, they have not. Oh, yeah, they'll probably play him. Yeah, they play him at the end of the season. Black Friday weekend games. That'll be fun.
Well, I mean, you can pull up their schedule right there, right?
I just did. November 30th.
November 30th. Okay. So, are you done with James Franklin and Penn State then? You said they can get rid of him. Now's the perfect time.
They won't, but they should because they're probably going to make the playoffs this year.
I mean, in a 12-team playoff.
Because
I tend to agree with you.
Their schedule is kind of doo-doo from here on out.
Yeah, I mean, but they're not going to play in the championship game, right?
Oh, no.
So, because Oregon's going to be there, and they don't have divisions anymore in the Big Ten, right? It'll just be the top 2 teams.
Yeah, top 2 teams. Yeah, so Penn State's schedule is Washington, Purdue, Minnesota, Maryland. Washington's
going to sneak into a bowl game right now, too.
Probably. I mean, I'm not surprised. I mean, they're not a bad team. But yeah, I don't see Penn State losing another game because if there's one thing that James Franklin is good at is beating lower ranked teams.
It's all he's good at.
Yeah.
It's not lower ranked teams.
He doesn't play down to them like a lot of coaches.
Man, I cannot believe I got Vanderbilt and Wake Forest mixed up earlier. I'm really upset at myself. But it's just a weird jump for me to see James Franklin do that. Because he didn't really do anything at Vandy to get this job. Like, I think he made a couple bowl games.
That's all you need to do at Vanderbilt.
What is this obsession with James Franklin?
With who? I mean, from who?
With the world of college. Because he's just not good. He's just not good. You said he was a good coach last year. No, you did say he was a good coach last year.
He's not.
He's not a good coach understands the games he's paid for. Okay? At Penn State, you're not paid to beat Iowa State. At Penn State, you're not paid to beat Illinois. At Penn State, you're paid to beat Ohio State, Michigan. It used to be Michigan State, but God help that program. Okay? You're paid to beat those teams. You're paid to beat the good teams. That made me sad, what I just said. I was only able to name 3 good teams in the Big Ten. Are there any other good teams in the Big Ten? Iowa, Michigan, and Ohio State? Is that it? Is that all we have? Now, obviously, we have Oregon. But, like, am I wrong? Hold on. Like, is there other good teams in the Big Ten? This is a serious question.
Anna?
No. Not every year. That's just this year. And they don't have when they don't have Michael Penix. All right? This is a serious question, Wes. I need you to think about this seriously. No. Starting last year, are there any teams besides Ohio State, Iowa, and Michigan that are good in the Big Ten?
Penn State was good last year.
Okay, we're talking about Penn State in this context.
Yeah.
Stop saying...
That's 4 teams out of 12.
So no! Oh my God.
You have 4 teams out of 12 that are good. Okay, so if you take a 12-team conference, you're going to have 4 teams that kind of suck. 4 teams that are average and 4 teams that are good.
What are the 4 average teams? What are the 4 average teams?
I think like Rutgers was like 7-5 last year. Maryland was
consider Rutgers an average team.
Nebraska was 8-4.
You're cute when you
average team. Average good.
Hey, Fuzzy Wuzzy Care Bear. All right, stop. You're just saying some things about some things. Maryland's not a good football team.
About all the teams in the Big Ten.
Maryland's not a good football team. Rutgers is not a good football team. They're not average. They're bad. They're bad football teams. Okay? You don't turn on a game and go, ooh, Rutgers. Can't wait. Right? Vanderbilt is an average team this year. All right? So
okay, what are you going to do about that in the SEC from last year before they merged with Oklahoma and Texas?
I think Texas A&M is good, right? They just weren't good last year.
They sucked last year.
But consistently, they're good. Georgia's consistently good. Florida hasn't been good lately, but you'll always look at Florida as good. LSU, Ole Miss, Alabama. Like, that's 7 teams.
What? No, that's 5 teams.
No. Texas A&M is consistently good. Georgia's consistently good.
Mediocre. Are you kidding me?
Texas A&M?
Rutgers. Yeah.
No. Texas A&M. I never turn on a Rutgers Texas A&M game and think Texas A&M is going to lose to Rutgers.
Dude, Texas A&M literally fired Jimbo Fisher because he was garbage.
Jimbo Fisher was garbage.
They were trash for years.
Florida's been bad lately too, but I still think Florida is a solid team. Like when I look at good college football teams, I think Florida sucks this year, but overall status throughout the years, I think that Florida's won national championships. LSU has won national championships. Alabama's won national championships.
Ole Miss in there. Pretty sure Ole Miss has never won.
They've never won a national championship, but Ole Miss has been off and on for the last 15 years a good team. Mississippi State just recently fell off over the last 5 years, but they had a little run there under Hugh Freeze. Remember? Or no, Hugh Freeze was Ole Miss.
So then we can throw in Nebraska in this Big Ten conversation.
Under Bo Pelini, I feel bad for Bo Pelini because he was just winning 9 games after 9 games. He's in that James Franklin class. He was in that James Franklin class that you like so much. I didn't think he was a good coach either, to be honest. Bo Pelini was not a good coach to me, but he kept Nebraska better than they were.
Too. Michigan State until all their
D'Antoni had the heart issues.
And until Michigan State just got like stained with all the disgusting shit surrounding them.
Yeah, there's a lot going on to include gymnastics. Like we don't have to rehash
Wisconsin made several Rose Bowls.
I'll give you that. There we go. We got to 5 teams in the Big Ten. Wisconsin. We got to 5. We'll take 5 good teams in the Big Ten. But I was worried there for a second. I was worried there for a second. I was like, is there? Well, come on. Like, I root for that conference over the SEC. Okay, like just not Ohio State. That's the only team I don't root for. So I was sitting here like, oh my God, this conference is bad. This is a bad conference until the Pac came over. But yeah, you're right. Hopefully USC sparks some things. Hopefully they can pull their head out of where. Lincoln Riley might be done in USC.
Lost to Washington. That was a pretty bad loss, and they might not make a bowl game this year.
Yeah, it was pretty damning what happened there. I think they're definitely going to make a bowl game.
He has a worse record than Clay Helton through the first X amount of games. By like 3 games. By like 3 wins.
He was supposed to have a quarterback, so he's got what? He's got Moss back there right now. And he was supposed to have, I believe...
Moss sucks.
Moss is bad, but he was supposed to have Malachi, I can't remember his name, came over with him and Caleb Williams to USC. Malachi Moore, maybe? No, Malachi Moore's your backup quarterback, right? In Oregon. So there was
Malachi Nelson.
Malachi Nelson was like a top 5 recruited quarterback that committed to Oklahoma, came over with him to USC.
He's a
What's
Bronco
going on
now.
there?
He's a Bronco.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
When did he go over there?
This season. He's been a backup, but
so so maybe he's just not as good as they thought he was going to be out of high school, huh?
I don't know, because I haven't really seen him play. I don't think he's played many games, but
no, he hasn't. There's only one backup quarterback I'm excited about right now, and that's Arch Manning. All right, but let's see. Texas has a chance. What's that?
I said you and the Mannings. You love the Mannings.
I do love the Mannings, but Texas has a chance to blow it all and blow their shot at the playoffs this week. Okay, and it could happen. Anything could happen this week because we've also got Bama LSU. That could be a playoff game eliminator, right? Bama LSU.
Well, we're going to get a good picture of where Alabama stands in the eyes of the committee coming up tomorrow. And I think Bama, because Bama's like right on the cusp, I think Bama's going to be out of the top 12.
I mean, maybe. Yeah, I think you're right. I think most 2-loss teams are going to be out of the top 12, to be honest, regardless of conference. Yeah. They'll sneak extra SEC teams in there. They will. They love to sneak extra SEC teams into playoffs, right? But I don't think the last thing we'll talk about is I don't think that your sneaky sneak's going to make it in West. We're not going to talk about the Bengals. We're not going to talk about the Bengals and the Raiders. I see that coming across my timeline already in my head. Yes, the Raiders are terrible. They fired their offensive coordinator. They fired their offensive line coach. It's that season where people just start firing people to blame them. But no, your sneaky sneak, I don't think is going to make it in to the playoff.
You don't think SMU is going to make it in?
No, I think it's just going to be Miami out of the ACC. I do. I think just Miami out of the ACC makes the playoff.
Have you seen SMU's schedule coming up? They have Boston College, Virginia, and Cal.
Cal is good. Their record doesn't say it, but Cal is good, man.
Cal lost to State.
Cal, yes, but Cal will sneak up on you and get a game, man.
Florida State can't even make it in an FCS conference.
Florida State has 1 win right now. But Cal almost upset Miami, who has no losses. Right? Did you watch the Miami game against Duke? That was crazy. That game was fun to watch. I mean, Cam Ward thinks he's better than he actually is. That's one thing I saw in that game.
Well, obviously, yeah.
He tried to make a throw across his body where I was like, oh, what are you doing?
Here's the thing, though. So I don't think the committee is going to punish a team that makes it to their conference championship. Like they're gonna finish the season 11-1 with their only loss being the most likely Big 12 champion, who just might be undefeated at the end of the year, and they lost by a field goal. And I think that's gonna look really highly. And I think if it comes to like a 2-loss or 3-loss Alabama team versus a 2-loss conference runner-up SMU team, they go with SMU.
I think we're gonna see Alabama get in before
Alabama's
SMU.
out.
I think we could see LSU get in before SMU. I think we could see Texas A&M get in before SMU, and Ole Miss get in before SMU.
I gotta think Texas A&M is done after getting thrashed by South Carolina.
Dude, South Carolina's scary, man. South Carolina can jump up and get anybody at this point.
They
like
beat
if you're not careful,
out of Oklahoma. I mean, Oklahoma sucks, but
South Carolina is a sneaky sneak as well. They're another team that they almost got Bama, and Bama got lucky in that game. I think 5-3 at this point for South Carolina. But they're a team that can jump and get you. You and I were talking about Louisville and what Louisville did to what Louisville did to Clemson. They're a team that can sneak up and get you. So there's a couple teams out there you just don't want on your schedule at the end of the day. Like it's with you in Michigan playing in the Big House. I literally told you last week before that game, Michigan sucks and Oregon's going to roll.
I know that sucks.
And you still had, stop it, you still had it's in the Big House. It's in the big,
it's a road
game. And I'm
to Vanderbilt.
I'm not making fun of you with this, Wes. It's okay to feel the way you felt. It's okay to get a little feel a little sensitive.
I've seen Oregon play too many goddamn trap games in my life for me to.
Speaking of Cal, I've seen Oregon go down to Cal and lose in Cal when they had the best team in the nation.
I've seen Oregon go down to the desert against Arizona and Arizona State and lose almost every year.
Dennis Dixon, man, that was the Dennis Dixon team losing to Arizona. Yeah. And then you also had a crazy loss to Stanford. You had one to Stanford.
The whole state of Arizona and the Bay Area gives me nightmares, okay? And I'm glad those are in different conferences, and we never have to see them again.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, we're glad that the Bay Area plays on the Atlantic Ocean now.
Yeah,
anyway,
get out of here. Go back to where you belong.
So you think SMU has a shot at the playoff when the committee reveals its rankings?
Absolutely. And you know what? I think SMU beats the crap out of Miami. I think Miami's the paper tiger here.
You think SMU beats Miami in the ACC championship?
Yes. Miami's not that good.
Man, I don't know. Miami looks good. It's crazy that
coaches.
So do you know who Miami's best receiver is?
Beating up on trash teams this whole year.
So do you know who Miami's best wide receiver is of all time now?
Who?
So who do you think's played at Miami? Like just off the top of your head.
I'm not good at history like you are, bro. You're just going to tell me.
Michael Irvin, Reggie Wayne, Andre Johnson. Okay, they've all played there. The best receiver, statistically, in Miami history, Xavier Restrepo. I think he was a walk-on. But he's the guy that caught a 76-yard pass against Duke last week for the touchdown. On that 76-yard catch, he broke the record for, I believe, receptions and yards by a Miami receiver. Someone that I don't think he'll play in the NFL, to be honest. Like, if he does, it'll be special teams, or maybe he lands a slot receiver job. But, I mean, that blew my mind when I saw that statistic during the Duke game last week.
Yeah, so here's my thing with Miami. All right? Miami, they almost lost to Virginia Tech, they almost lost to Cal, and they almost lost to Louisville. I don't see them beating SMU. I think SMU beats them in the ACC championship.
That's a hell of a...
If they're even undefeated going into that, they might lose to Georgia Tech next week.
You know, a lot of people are saying that. Like, that's a lot of people in the media are saying that Miami could go down to Georgia Tech. So that's a sneaky pick for this week.
That's all right, Westradamus' sneaky peek.
No, that's a hell of a way to end the show with the prediction of Miami goes down to Georgia Tech. And even if Miami survives, SMU's got them in the ACC championship.
They got their number.
I will say this as I sign off. The big game treatment, the big TV treatment this week, it's going to be Georgia Ole Miss for me, not Alabama LSU. I want to see if Georgia can get their offense on track, and what better team to do that against than Ole Miss, a team you're going to have a shootout with.
My big game is going to be Indiana, Michigan.
That gets the big TV treatment.
Yep.
Big 10 all day.
All day.
As always, thanks for joining us. We will see you next week.
Adios.